welcome. My name is Brooke, and I'm a mother of 5 living with my husband and children on a remote farm in central Canada. My channel is mostly cash stuffing, but today I wanted to show you how I budget for my cash envelopes and my bills and all the things. So I use this Paycheque Planner, and the pay that I'm budgeting today is going to be Friday's pay, which is January 23rd. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write in income for this period. Now, often on the Fridays, it's often just my income, my husband's income, but this time around we have also our child tax benefit, which every every family in Canada receives, government, whatever. It's a benefit that all parents receive. So that is coming in the same week as 2 paychecks, which will make this an unusually large pay period. So pay number 1 is going to be in the ballpark of $12.49. And then my pay number 2, will be in the ballpark of $850. And then the child tax benefit is going to be $1,760. So let me do some quick mental math here. That's going to be a total of $3,859 in this upcoming week, which is very unusual for us, and I'm excited to have a little bit of extra money to play with in one pay period. Okay, so now that I know what the income is going to be, the next thing I'm going to do is write in my bills. Now, for this particular pay period, we have mortgage coming out, and that is $700, and that is automatically withdrawn from our account, so I don't stuff an envelope for that. I have a tractor payment that's also an automatic payment that's coming out, and that's going to be, I think, about $600. I need to pay my phone bill, so I'm going to put public mobile in here. That's going to be $40. And our hydro bill for electricity, I'm going to put $225. I think the bill is a little bit less, but I try to budget about the same every time. And so even if I'm overpaying a little bit on that bill, then it makes the next bill just that much lower. So those are the bills that need to be paid this pay period. That is a total of $1,565 from that pay period. So now we're going to subtract the total bills paid from the total income paid. And let me see some mental math. That's going to leave us with $2,294 left. So next is payments that are going on to debt. So the first one is going to be the line of credit, and I'm going to budget $400 for that. Next is a loan that I have, loan number 1. I'm going to budget $100 for that. And then a second loan, I'm going to budget $50 for that. And then the credit cards. So card number 1 is going to get $150. Card number 2 is going to get $50. And card number 3 is going to get $50. Okay, so this line of credit, my goal is to have that paid off in the next 18 months. These are open loans, so I can put more than the minimum payment on them without penalty, and I'm hoping to have these paid off by the end of the year. And then this, of the 3 credit cards, I want this one paid off by the end of the year, and then this one I'm going to have fully paid off, hopefully not too long after the first. And this one is a low balance one, so that's just kind of going to be my fluctuating card. So that's why on the first card I'm putting $150, but only $50 on the next 2, is because I'm hoping to get this one knocked out first. It's got the highest interest. Gonna get that knocked out and then work on the next 2. So we've got $4, $5, $7, $800 going towards debt. So if we take the amount left after bills and we subtract the $800 going on to debt, that leaves us with $1,494 left for everything else. Okay, so weekly spending, groceries. Now for this one, I typically budget $400 a week for 2026 so far. And this pay needs to stretch over 2 weeks, so I'm going to put $800 here for the groceries. Gas, usually I do $80 a week, and actually this time around I have a little bit left from the last pay. So for a 2-week period where I typically would budget $160 for a 2-week period, this time around I'm going to put $120. Then dog food is going to be $90. And the feed store for chicken feed, I think I only need 1 bag, so I'm going to put $40 there. So 8. Okay, that's going to be a total of $1,050 for weekly spending. And this is actually for a 2-week period, not a 1-week period. And so if we take what's left after paying bills and debt, we had $1,494 left. Now we're going to subtract this $1,050, and that's going to leave us with $444 to put into sinking funds. So here's where I list all my envelopes, and I've got them listed in the order that they appear in my binders, so that when I'm looking at this to do my cash stuffing, I'm not having to flip back and forth as I go down the list. Okay, so the emergency fund is always going to get something. This week I'm going to put $20 in there. I'm not going to put anything in the grocery buffer this time around because it's unusual that I have this much money to work with, and so I want to try to kind of spread it around into envelopes that don't often get enough love. So I have found that the $400 a week for groceries has been pretty well adequate. Last year I was budgeting $350 a week, and I was finding that was just too tight. That extra $50 is making all the difference, and I don't think I need to worry so much right now about the grocery buffer. The kids' spending is going to be $25. That's 5 kids getting $5 each. So this is they don't get an allowance, and I don't just give them spending money, but this kids' spending is for like if we're going somewhere or if there's a special event or we're going on a little trip or going to the beach for the day. I like to give them a bit of spending money to get themselves a little something. Lessons is going to get $20. Um, Actually, I was considering putting a little bit more in there. Actually, I'm going to change this. I'm going to put 40 because I did pull from that envelope last weekend for my daughter to take a calligraphy class. So I want to kind of bump this up a little bit. So lessons will get 40. Clothing will get 20. That envelope's been hurting for a while. We don't need to worry about shoes right now, so I won't put anything there. Instrument maintenance is going to get 20. And this is my children play violin, viola, cello, piano, guitar, and we will need to be starting to change out their strings soon because that hasn't been done since last spring. Time for new strings. I probably don't have enough in there for that yet, but we'll get there. Okay, my son is rapidly outgrowing his cello, so I'm going to put $20 in the new cello fund. And let's see, where else do I want to put money this time around? Vehicle maintenance, that's going to get 20. I know it's not going to be too much longer before we need to do an oil change. Tires is going to get 20. We did put new tires on the van in September, I think, but I want to start padding this envelope again for the next time we need to change tires. Tractor maintenance is going to get 20. Hay equipment. I put some, just like the emergency fund, I put something in the hay equipment envelope every single time I have income. So this time around, I'm going to put 20 in there. And property taxes, I'm going to put 20 in there. I'm going to put 20 in the veterinarian envelope. We had the vet out to the farm in October. I don't expect that we're going to need him again in the immediate future, knock on wood, but I would like to have a decent chunk of change in there just in case. Okay, we have some spring birthdays coming up, so I'm going to put 20 in there. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I want to do something special with my husband, so I'm putting 50 in there. Easter is not too far away, so I'm putting 20 in there. And I'm going to put 20 towards Christmas, 20 towards an extra mortgage payment. Let's see. 20 towards my husband's future workshop and 20 towards retirement. So I think that's all. Let me double check. We got 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 150, 170, 190, 210, 230, 250, 270, 290, 310, 330, 350, 390, 415, 435. that leaves $9 left over. So we've got $4.35. We take that away from the $4.44 that we have. We've got $9 left, and I will probably just toss that $9 into a high interest savings account. So if you notice, there's a lot of categories in here that I did not put money in, and that's because what I do with my sinking funds is I have a few that are non-negotiable. So the emergency fund is non-negotiable. The hay equipment fund is non-negotiable. This is because we are farmers. We cut our own hay. We depend on our hay to get us through the winter. This is high priority. So emergency fund, hay equipment, and this year I've committed to retirement being a non-negotiable and Christmas being non-negotiable. So automatically I'm going to every single pay period put money in those 4 categories. Then I kind of go, okay, what's going to be coming up that I need to kind of give a little bit more priority? Birthdays, Valentine's Day, Easter. I know, like I said, we're going to have to be changing strings soon. And this one I know I want to top up because we pulled from there. So that kind of gives me a general framework for where to put the money. And then from one pay period to the next, that will shift throughout these envelopes. And so far, that has been working just fine for me. So that is how I plan our pay periods. And if you are interested in a paycheck planner just like this, I have this for free on my Ko-fi. I think it's for free. Anyway, at any rate, you can take a look at my Ko-fi. Even if it's not free, it's going to be super cheap. So that is that. I will see you next time when I'm ready to stuff some cash. Have a good one. Bye.